Fala aí pessoal, eu sou o Akumoto, sejam bem-vindos a mais um vídeo no canal. O vídeo de hoje vai ser reagindo ao diário desenvolvedor que tá pra começar agora, né? Se tá ao vivo aqui, tá em live aqui, na verdade, começando a gravação aqui, falta 30 segundos pra começar. Então vou assistir, vou reagir com vocês, tá sendo realmente a primeira vez que eu vou ver, tá? A gente vai vendo e comentando sobre. Antes de começar aí, vou aproveitar esses 10 segundos que tem. Quem puder me ajudar a fazer o cadastro lá na Betano, ajudar a continuar. A Betano me ajuda bastante aí financeiramente, né? Quem puder fazer o cadastro, faz aí pra mim e usa o promo code Akumoto. Bora! Começou, tá sem som, bora!
As Dark Horse for Life, Blitzcrank Connoisseur, Mobile Game Devotee, and Game Director for Wild Rift.
Vamos ver o que vai
We're moving
mudar
on
nesse
from our
patch
Power Spike patch
3.5.
into our next update, but there's definitely no powering down here. Today we'll be talking about our next champions, improvements to the jungling experience, rune and item changes, a new game mode, and more. So let's jump into the Wild Rift patch 3.5, Darken to Dawn.
Aí que é os Darks até a ilha,
Aatrox,
né?
the Darkened Blade, brings oblivion to Barren Lane. An ancient being imprisoned in his own sword, Aatrox feasts on the souls of mortals to grow ever more powerful. To take down opponents, Aatrox wants to
Vocês viram
land
meu
his first
canal, vocês já
ability,
viram
the
gameplay
Darkened
com ele,
Blade,
né?
one after the other. This ability transforms on each cast, targeting a different area. Then, drag them down with your second ability, Infernal Chains.
Vou baixar pouquinho
Once
o
they're in
som.
your grasp, unleash apocalyptic power with
Eu
your
acho que
ultimate,
o Aatrox
Whirlwind,
vai ser meta,
which
tá,
unlocks
gente?
a ton of
Na lane
bonus
do
attack
top. Ele é
damage,
campeão,
healing, and
tem
move speed. These buffs are extended by
O campeão
takedowns, so
tem
you
o
can
kit
keep
de
the fight
habilidade dele é
going.
muito forte.
At the height of his potential, Aatrox is a true force of devastation. If unkillable raid boss is your dream, pick him up and rain destruction down on your enemies. If you're looking for an even sharper edge, our next champ is for you. Kayn, the Shadow Reaper, slices into the rift and anything in his way.
Inclusive,
With his
essa
third
atualização a
ability, Shadow
3.5
Step,
já é
this jungler can walk
muito
through
focada
walls,
nos...
and his ultimate, Umbral
jungle,
Trespass,
né?
allows him to hide in an enemy's body, dealing massive damage when you escape. Kayn wields an ancient weapon possessed by a Darken named Rost, and constantly battles it for control. With his passive, the Darken Scythe, you decide who will triumph. When Kayn attacks champions, he'll charge each of his forms. Ranged champions charge the Shadow Assassin, while melee champions charge the Darken Slayer. When one form is fully charged, he can permanently gain its bonuses by
Inclusive, eles
selecting it in
colocaram
the
essas
fountain.
duas formas, né?
This choice
A
can't be
azul e a
changed later in the
vermelha na
game,
base
so
pra
make
você
sure you're
escolher.
confident.
Porque eles estão pensando já no
In
lançamento
Darken
para
form,
console, né? Para
Kayn will
ter menos
heal for the
botões.
damage he deals to champions, making him harder to kill. In
Aí, ó.
Assassin form, Kayn will deal even more damage, allowing him to burst down enemies before they can blink. His abilities will also slightly change depending on the form you choose. So, if you're an aspiring Kayn main, get ready to transform and embrace a new path. What's that?
Yeah,
Are you
Lilia,
feeling
aí, ó.
sleepy? Maybe our next champ will be a breath of fresh air. Lilia, the bashful bloom, emerges from a peaceful forest far away into the jungle of Wild Rift. This shy fawn spirit collects and protects the dreams of humans, kind of the opposite of Darken and destruction. But don't underestimate her skittish appearance. Her speed and damage might spook even the soundest sleeper. All of Lilia's abilities apply Dream Dust, which deals max health damage over time. When she hits at least one champion with an ability, she'll gain move speed, which stacks with
Pegar
more
meu
hits.
óculos.
Land your spells and you'll be zooming across the map. Lilia's ultimate, Lilting Lullaby, puts all champions affected by Dream Dust to sleep after a delay. They'll wake up
Basicamente,
when they
ali
take
como a
damage
gente
from your
tinha-
team, so make that time in Dreamland count.
Como eu tinha falado, essa é uma atualização
Dealing
muito
huge
focada na
AoE
jungle,
damage
né,
is more
cara?
your
Tem
super fast speed.
3 campeões de
Lilia is your
jungle saindo
jungler
em
to fawn
pouquíssimo
over.
tempo.
And that's all of our champions for the Darken to Dawn update. Let us know if you found the perfect new main.
Mecânica de jogo, provavelmente as mudanças na jungle, né? Que eu tinha
Hi
mostrado
everyone,
pra
I'm
vocês
David,
no vídeo
Associate Game
do
Director
Caio.
on Wild Rift. You'll find me as Papa Smoothie on the Rift and on socials. Now, let's get into our gameplay updates. Over the last couple patches, we made updates for the support role, and we feel pretty good about where they landed so far. This means that in patch Darken to Dawn, we're looking to make meaningful improvements to another role, the jungle. Jungling is one of the most challenging roles in Wild Rift. It plays very differently compared to all the other roles and has a ton of agency over the course of the game. Now, we expect the jungle role to remain high depth and high impact, but in 3.5, we're looking to remove some unnecessary complexity from the
que eu tinha
experience
comentado
while
com vocês, que
maintaining
vai ficar
all the
mais
epic
fácil a
moments.
jungle, né?
Starting this patch, you'll be able to use the buff sharing mechanic. Blue and red buffs are incredibly powerful tools, and sometimes cause unnecessary tension between teammates as to who should get them. We're adding a mechanic where after a few minutes of game time, killing the Brambleback or the Sentinel will drop a temporary buff that other players can pick up by walking up to the buff circle. Sharing is caring, folks, so don't let it go to waste.
Eu ainda não sei o
Since
que eu
you
acho
have double the buffs
dessa
for your team,
mudança não,
the
sabe?
evolved versions of blue and red will be removed. We also have a
sei
new
o que eu tenho
jungler
a pensar
specific
sobre
buff
isso ainda não.
called
Eu quero ver.
conservation. When you jungle, you'll gain conservation stacks over time, and killing a large monster will cash in the stacks for gold. This buff is meant to provide a natural guidance for junglers on how they should balance between ganking and farming. Basically, if you only farm or only gank, you'll be missing out on that bonus gold. We're updating the Smite Summoner spell. First, we're removing Challenging Smite, or Red Smite. We found that it really wasn't a compelling choice for jungle players, and it was often hard to appreciate its effect in-game. Next, we're changing how the Smite upgrade functions. Originally, you had to kill a specific amount of monsters to upgrade your Smite. Starting this patch, Smite will upgrade based on the number of times it has been used, so the upgrade time should be more consistent across games.
Isso aí mostrei também no
Additionally,
vídeo do Caim,
both
né?
base Smite and the upgraded Smite will deal a fixed amount of damage to monsters instead of scaling based on your champion level. Lastly, we're adjusting the general stats and behavior of jungle monsters.
Até onde eu tinha
This
visto,
should
o
help
máximo
make
de
clear
limite de
times
smite
faster
tinha sido
overall,
800, tá?
and you should have an easier time surviving against monsters, especially in the early clears.
É
Because at
isso.
the end of the day, we want junglers to be planning their next steps without worrying so much about surviving their initial clears. Another big change I want to call out is the first camp start decision. Previously, it was almost necessary for junglers to start at the red buff to maximize their clear speed. With the general updates to monster stats, we hope the first clear decisions can be more dynamic and flexible, so
Realmente
that
ficou
players can
jogando
choose
no
which camp to
servidor
start
teste, realmente
based on the
ficou
unique
muito mais
dynamics
fácil
of
fazer
their
a jungle,
specific
tá?
matchup.
É, eu mostro,
We're
quem
making
vocês
some
quiserem
awesome
perceber também
improvements
de
to
novo,
Shelly as
vai no
well.
vídeo do Caim lá.
Rift Herald is meant to be a
que dá pra ver.
mid-game tool that helps you snowball, but with its current tuning, oftentimes the expected rewards can vary greatly. So we have increased the speed of summoning Rift Herald as well as her charge speed, so the value gained from your plays will be that much more consistent.
Agora as mudanças de itens e runas, né? Mudam 3
Horizon
itens
Focus
novos.
is a great pick for mages who want to snipe opponents with spells. Skill shots that hit a champion from a distance will apply stacks to your enemy. Hidden crowd control abilities will grant additional stacks. Gain enough stacks to consume them and deal bonus damage. Get your sniper
Fala,
goggles
Lux,
on and
né?
sharpen up your
Que
aim.
bom.
Lord Dominic's Regards is our newest attack damage item. With his passive Adrenaline, after you're out of combat with other champions for a few seconds, your first attack against a champion will now have increased attack speed. Soul Stealer is getting a new passive, Soul Flare. Takedowns on enemy champions will reduce the cooldowns on all your basic abilities, and you'll gain extra ability power for a few seconds after. So if you're a mage or
Isso aí.
assassin player who likes to snowball your way
Buffzinho
through team
no
fights,
Fizz, né?
this is the item for you.
Esse
For runes,
Legias,
we
né?
want to give
Mais ou
mages
menos.
another option beyond the Electrocute and Summonary, with some utility beyond just dealing extra damage. So if you want to run fast and cast fast, Phase Rush is the rune for you. When you hit a champion with 3 separate
Olha a
attacks or
velocidade
abilities, you'll
a
gain a burst of
velocidade
movement
da
speed and ability haste.
Orianna.
The current cooldowns will also be reduced, so get spell slinging. We're
Orianna?
also replacing the champion rune. Sudden Impact is your new pick if you're looking to twist a knife or you assassinate your enemies. With this rune, you'll gain a bit of adaptive penetration when you exit stealth or use a dash, blink, or teleport to deal damage to an enemy champion.
E talvez seja bom no Yasuo, tá?
We're introducing another game mode this patch. If you ever wonder what a game of 5 Blitzcranks and 5 Threshers
Esse
will look
modo
like,
eu já gravei
well,
vídeo
now's
desse
your chance
modo,
to
tá?
find
Eu
out.
joguei
That's
com
right.
7.
One
Eu
for
vou
All
trazer
is
pro
coming
canal
to
também no
Wild Rift.
servidor teste. O servidor teste
In
já tá com
Champion Select, you and your teammates will vote for a
esse
champion
modo eu vou
play,
trazer pra
and
vocês,
you'll
tá?
all play the select a champion. Ties are broken by random selection. The enemy team will select their own champion to play, and then you'll all be in a game of never done before combos. So queue up and tell us who's the most OP. We will love to hear what you think.
Vamos ver, qualidade de vida.
We have a few new features to address disruptive behavior in games.
Comportamento
We'll be adding
inadequado, vamos
another
ver.
penalty for players who leave matches. As we know, playing with an AFK player is not fun, so we're
Realmente.
looking to discourage that behavior even more. Additionally, we're in a situation where a remake is available, the remake will automatically trigger, so you cannot miss the vote.
E isso é muito bom, porque
You'll
você
also
não
see
ter
a new
remake era
avoid list
frustrante,
feature
né?
in this patch. In the post-game lobby, you'll be able to add someone from the game to your avoid list, which will prevent you from being matched on the same team with them until the list resets at the start of each
Então,
week.
basicamente, você pode colocar 3
We're adding a
pessoas
new
na
way to
semana
view
para
your
não cair
skins.
no time.
When you visit the collection tab, you'll see the skin set tab and the champion tab.
Honestamente,
With these
3 é
filters,
pouco pra mim. Eu
you'll be
colocava uns
able to
30
view
num dia só,
multiple
mas
skins
tudo
from the
bem.
same
Já é
champion or skin
passo, né?
lines at once. Some will even have custom backgrounds. If you complete an entire skin set, you'll earn an exclusive title and a special effect in Champion Select to show it off. So for those of you who like to build your collection, you have a new way to admire it with pride. Lastly, during this update's events, you'll see some brand new mission types. We'll talk a little more about that later. Now, I'll pass it back to Jared to wrap us up.
O passe de temporada provavelmente é o Jin, né? A gente já
Kaboom!
tinha visto, né?
Oh, sorry, I got a little carried away there. You can't have superheroes without supervillains. This patch, Supervillain Jin brings his nefarious deeds to level 50 of the Wild Pass.
Bonita a skin, tá?
You can claim his ascended skin by playing games and collecting it from the Wild Pass Emporium. Will the forces of good or evil win out? Only future Wild Passes will tell.
Bonita, né? A skin, eu gostei.
We
Eu
hope
gosto
you
do
enjoyed powering up in the Supreme Cells Arena last patch. Of course, we've got a bunch of new events for you to explore in this update. Most importantly, have you been having strange dreams lately? Filled with peculiar and playful characters? Who live in a beautiful, mysterious world not too far from our own? No? Just me? Weird. Spirit Blossom is coming to Wild Rift.
Finalmente
In
vamos ter
this
a skin do
event,
Yasuo
you'll tend to
florescer
a little
espiritual.
town in the
pô.
spirit world, where completing missions will let you summon a random spirit. Fill up your town with this cast of quirky personalities, and who knows what you might overhear. To go into the new year, we've got a festive little snowball fight for you. Test your aim and collect rewards fit for a Poro. Don't worry, no Poros will be harmed as you complete your missions. Look how happy they are. And of course, that's not all the events we're looking forward to. So keep an eye out for more in the next couple months.
Aí, agora aquele festival de skin que nós vamos tomar na cara,
And
né?
it wouldn't be a patch preview without our skins montage. Let's take a look at what's coming, from elegant to edgy to extra colorful.
Eu quero saber
Roll
da...
montage.
Quero saber da florescer espiritual. Vamos lá. Esse que eu gosto dessa skin, ela é bonita. Essa é a linha exclusiva, tá? Essas skins são exclusivas do Wild Rift, não tem no PC, que é cromatizadora, né? Que é a Jinx, o Echo e a Samira. Aí, Florescer Espiritual Trash. Irada, tá? Irada. E o Ione com a cara do Pablo Vittar, né? Olha lá, filha. É o Pablo Vittar, filho. Olha lá. Olha o homem! A skin mais foda do Yasuo é essa. E é isso. A cara rosa de cristal, finalmente chegando. Opa, lagou? A Riven rosa de as skins rosas de cristal vindo, né?
And that's everything for this update. Whether you're in the mood for darkness and destruction, or a dreamy trip to the spirit world, we've got you covered in the Darkened to Dawn patch. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the Rift.
É isso. Bom, Então é isso. Gente, basicamente, o patch todo de cabo a rabo vazou, né? A gente já não teve aqui, honestamente, não teve nenhuma novidade que eu acho que vocês não sabiam. Tirando, eu acho que a parte da lista de bloqueio. A lista de bloqueio é 3 por semana, honestamente eu acho pouco, mas também se você coloca 200, do que seria meu caso, que eu faria tranquilamente, não teria fila, né? Você não acharia fila. No mais, outra coisa, na verdade eu fiquei surpreso também com as skins rosas de cristal. Eu tinha visto a da Vi, mas eu não tinha visto a da Riven, nem a da Akali, mas não importa, importa que o Yasuo vai vir e a do Ione com o cara do Pablo Vittar. Mas, de qualquer forma, eles estão prometendo aí dar punições maiores pra galera que tá FK, o lance do remake, já são direções boas, né, que o jogo parece encaminhar. Eu gosto sobre a maior mudança no geral, que é a parte da jungle. Eu mostrei pra vocês no vídeo do Caim jogando no servidor teste. Realmente tá bem mais fácil fazer a jungle lá, mas a gente tem que ver como vai ser isso. Eu acho que pode mudar bastante o meta no sentido de... O que me preocupa é mudar bastante o meta no sentido de você poder fazer a jungle com qualquer campeão, tá? Isso me preocupa um pouco, mas vamos ver como na hora que a gente tem que esperar isso sair, a gente jogar para entender melhor. De qualquer forma, essa atualização 3.5, ela começa no dia 16 de novembro, ou seja, tá chegando. Eles não deram a data ainda do Atrox e do Caim, mas eu imagino que eles cheguem logo agora, ou já no mês de dezembro. E a Lilia deve chegar provavelmente em janeiro, porque o patch termina em janeiro também. Então, vamos ver, né? Começando dia 16 de novembro e terminando, se eu não me engano, dia 27 de janeiro, ou algo do tipo. Mas é isso, esse é o patch 3.5, tem bastante coisa nova. Dessa vez o foco, obviamente, é na jungle, né? Estão lançando Warwick, Caim e Lilia aí nessa parte para focar nos campeões da jungle. Vamos ver. Deixa nos comentários o que vocês acharam, o que vocês gostaram, o que vocês não gostaram desse patch. E, de novo, quem puder me ajudar, vai ajudar de verdade mesmo bastante. Quem conseguir fazer o cadastro lá na Betano, usando meu promo code, usando pelo meu link lá e fazendo o cadastro. Realmente vai me ajudar muito e eu ia agradecer bastante. Ainda tem também do Raid Shadow Legends que eu postei lá na aba comunidade. Quem puder me ajudar lá também, eu agradeço. Beleza? Rapaziada, no resto é isso aí. Valeu, fico por aqui. Até a próxima.